So to understand why dating is so hard, so challenging as a man, especially now in modern times, and so laughably easy for women, seriously, dating must be a fun roller coaster, must be like a theme park to be dating as a woman, especially in a Western country in 2024. But to understand why we have this imbalance, why it's so hard as a man and so easy as a woman, we have to look at two things. One is the deeper evolutionary biology context of it, and one is societal factors that are kind of weird circumstantial things due to modern technology and modern society, making the problem much, much worse. But starting with the purely basic evolutionary psychology, this is that dating is supposed to be harder for a man. It's a safeguard in the species that only the strongest men, the most capable men, the men, the best problem solvers, intelligence, physical strength, these types of helpful attributes, have the right to mate. I mean, you look at any social mammalian species, and it's pretty much that way. You look at lions or, primates, chimpanzees, gorillas. You watch the nature documentaries in the British accent, it's always like, the male lions must fight to the death, and only the winner has the right and privilege to mate with the females. The females don't have to fight. And, like I said, especially in primates and chimps, our closest ancestors, it's like this. So, hey guys, back to the video in just a few seconds. But first, I had to share these amazing results that I've been having on dating apps using 100% fake AI-generated photos. Every single girl that you're seeing on screen right now, I matched with on Bumble using, yes, fake AI photos. And here are the photos on the screen right now that I used. And before you rush to the comments and want to say something dumb like, oh, I could kind of tell that they were fake. I know that you can't tell that they're fake because I'm lying to you. I'm showing you a mixture of both real photos and AI photos, and I bet you can't tell the difference of which is which. And I've done well on the dating apps even before with real photos, but ever since I put AI photos on there into the mix, the results have been absolutely insane, as you were seeing. And not only can I now be super lazy, I don't have to do photo shoots anymore in real life, but I can now get access to backdrops I never could before, such as being on a private jet or some insane looking baller Airbnb. And no, I know what you're thinking. Both the dating app platforms and Instagram cannot tell that these are AI, and they will not get you banned. So if you want some of these for yourself, just check out the link in the video description. It's also in the first pinned comment. It's the same link, and we will get back to the regular video now. Let's stick on the evolutionary, psychology thing for a minute, but I want to get into, and also I'm going to, launch into the new social circumstances that make it this way, to that don't do us any favors. And nature made it harder enough. That's how it's supposed to be. But again, it's to safeguard the species. Only the strongest males. You should have to fight and compete. Otherwise, the species would get weak. If any weak man had the right to mate, there'd be no safeguards. And if you look, you can Google this and research this on your own, but you have twice as many female ancestors as you do male ancestors, because women were, I guess, twice as likely to mate as a man. And I'm shocking. It's probably, I'd have to look into this, but it may be even more imbalanced than that. Now, the attraction triggers that worked once upon a time for men and women 200,000 years ago, well, we haven't changed much in the last 200,000 years, ever since the most modern version of Cro-Magnon or Homo sapiens left Africa. We haven't changed much. So for a woman, it was signs of being youthful, young and healthy. If you were young and you looked healthy, you were hot, you were sexy, men would look at you and get an erection and want to mate with you. Okay, this is, young is obvious, say between the ages of, well, let's be honest, they probably started a lot before 18 years old. Back in the day, they probably started around 14, 15. So whatever, there was no legal age of consent back then. But let's say, 18 to about, 28, 29, woman is in her prime. So if you're 18 to 29 and healthy, so long flowing hair, not missing any teeth, the teeth you have are straight, maybe they're, fairly white still, and you look well fed. Okay. You're not like, rib cage and, like you see a street dog that hasn't eaten. It's all like emaciated, and it's got like the mangy fur, but no, like your skin is bright, you're youthful, you're well fed. Like thick thighs and a thick butt worked back then, and it works equally well today. And women wear their value. It's like, look at me. I'm not a land whale. I can control my dietary consumption, and I can do squats, maybe even some cardio at the gym, get a sexy toned lower body. I'm wearing my value for you to see. Men used to be able to wear their value for everyone to see, but that has been stripped away from us in modern times. The reason for this is how women were judged by being sexy. Just, not like relationship, but just pure animalistic sexual attraction was, being youthful and looking healthy. For a man, it was his status. You gain status by being useful to society, being a good hunter, good at making weapons, good at, traveling and finding water when you've been traveling for a long time. Like, if you could find water, maybe you weren't the strongest person, but you had some, niche ability in the tribe, and you would have high status because you were good at problem solving. That's still the number one attraction trigger for men. The problem is we no longer live in 150 person tribes. I've talked about this in other videos. If you had that, like the machine where you win a teddy bear, it's like this claw goes and it grabs the teddy bear and try to win, your girlfriend like a teddy bear from the machine. If you had this gigantic claw on a global scale, and he was just plucking people. He plucked a guy from Japan, a guy from India, a couple of guys from the US, and he just plucked 150 people, and you throw me, Casey Redbeard, into that room of 150 people. Most average men are mad pathetic. For me to be the most useful guy, and let's just throw another thing. Let's throw in looks, height, income, intelligence, charisma, understanding of female psychology. I don't know, I mentioned this, resources, whatever it is. It's very easy for me to rise to the top and be the number one, number two draft pick in a room full of 150 people. The problem is women are now judging your status not in 150 local tribes. So you have to compete with, 149 other people. I have to compete with 3.5 billion other men because of social media, because of television, because of Instagram, especially because of social media, and, Instagram, a little bit because of dating apps, but mostly because of social media. Our girl opens up, TikTok. What's a girl seeing when she opens up TikTok or her For You, Explore page? She's seeing a curated feed of the most high status, witty, charismatic, interesting, sexy, tall, good looking, did I mention rich, luxurious lifestyle, millionaire playboy? She's seeing that. She's getting DM'd by these guys on Instagram. If she's in Ohio, she's getting DM'd by guys in Miami, Dubai, Los Angeles. Everything's on a global scale, social media. So now I'm being compared to the men on a global scale. And if you say, well, women, compete on a global scale too. You're seeing, the hottest Instagram models. Sure. What was considered, a bad bitch, the requirement of being, fit, young, looking healthy, you could throw in symmetrical face means that, the mom during the pregnancy got, good nutrition and passed that good nutrition on to her daughter. There's probably, no brain issues. A symmetrical face could be a sign of, good health during the gestation, when she was a baby, when she was an embryonic fetus. And cool. So the beauty standards, okay, they've gotten more stringent, right? So, I'm sure if you looked at what was considered a bad bitch cave woman, she had, hairy legs and, the droopy, National Geographic titties. I get that. But still, at the end of the day, the only work a woman has to do to be, desirable to, by and large by society. Not every man, because, face is somewhat subjective, but, there is kind of a, objectively, less attractive and more attractive faces that the woman can only change so much. But listen, if you just do a lot of squats, get a sexy, you work the hamstrings, you work the glutes, you work the quads, you're just always in there doing squats in the gym, and you're not eating like a land whale, and you try to cultivate a bit of a cooperative, feminine, non-irritating personality, just those things. Don't be super combative, irritating, and masculine. Do a lot of squats and lower body workouts. You can work out your upper body a little bit too. And don't eat like a land whale. So you just have these toned legs, this nice toned, thick ass, thick thighs. Dudes are going to be on it. And we're going to talk about this, how, because women have it so good in society, how they don't even try. Everyone, back to the video in just one quick second. But first, I want to let you know about a whole bunch of new free trainings I've created that are inside of my free community on this platform called Skool. So I have my ultimate guide to photography for dating apps and Instagram inside of there. Also a free guide on how to touch up your photos in a super realistic way that nobody would ever notice. I give away a free text messages database that has over 70 plus copy and paste messages you can send when you're texting with girls, so you never get stuck on oh, what's the next perfect witty text message I have to send? They're all inside of my free community on Skool, and there's a link to join that in the description of this video. Okay, back to the original video. Now, in the 70s and 80s, we still had, television and things like that. And that already was like, starting to ruin it. But the thing is, these people were just kind of like unrealistic, television icons. And up until, probably around the 90s or so, women were only comparing you to the other local men. So I'm from a city, a suburb called Torrance. It's near Hawthorne, Lawndale, Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach, Carson. But even before social media, okay, so now I'm not competing with 3.5 billion people. I'm still competing with 500,000 people in the Torrance, Redondo, Long Beach. I mean, sorry, way more than 500,000 people, but even just Torrance, California. Shout out to Torrance 310. But yeah, even just like, Torrance, it's a lot more than 150 people. Okay, so it's kind of like the end of one of those X-Men movies where, Magneto, if you don't know X-Men, Magneto's one who can control metal. He can just like crumple a metal can or like move a car, because anything made out of metal he can control. And then they inject him with this, they call it the cure. It's like this thing that they inject, and then mutants lose their power. So he's like, like my powers, I can't move the metal anymore. That's like what men, we've been stripped of our status, because again, it's pretty much impossible. Like, we're all strangers. I should like cold approach pickup, like a stranger walking up to another stranger at the super, like that shouldn't be a thing. It's unfair. She gets to wear her value, like, she's 18 to 29. She did the squat. She did the diet. She can just wear all her attraction. It works instantly. My status, like before Drake opens his mouth, before, who's a high status guy? Brad Pitt, Bad Bunny. Before Bad Bunny, the reggaeton artist, you guys living under a rock, reggaeton artist Bad Bunny, the most popular one in the world right now. Before he even, like a girl he never met, he's attracted because his status does the talking for him. That's how attraction is supposed to work. But again, like I said a million times, we're on a global scale. We are no longer in 150-person tribes. And then, aside from men, we're all strangers now. We've all been stripped of our status. Some of the guys that do have status on, these global scales are often not gaining it for, it's all opinion based, right? But it's like the quote unquote the right reason. So if you had status in your 150-person tribe, tribe, not pride. Pride is lions. A pride of humans. But if you had a status in your tribe, you were inarguably providing some tangible value. Again, you would make the best spears. You were the best hunter. You were, I don't know, whatever, the best at, tracking down an animal to hunt and kill. You were good at something. But now we have all these clowns gaining status for like mumble rappers. Okay, I actually Googled this. There's a song, I guess his name, I've never heard of this person. I don't even live in the States anymore. I don't follow, pop culture or pop music very much at all. But Playboy Cardi, I guess. I don't even know the name of the song. I think I can post like up to like 5 or 10 seconds, whatever the max, I'll Google it, the number of seconds I can show this song without the video getting demonetized. I'll go ahead and insert a clip from that music. But again, 37 million views and counting. I'll show a clip from that music video now.
Tell me what it take, work. Tell me what it takes, work. Credit that take. We not the same game, work. Oh, baby, work.
Okay, so did you understand a single word of what he just said? Again, I don't even know who this clown is. I literally just Googled worst mumble rappers, and he was voted on Reddit as the worst mumble rapper. So there's also this thing in Brazil called Brazilian funk. I've talked about this in other videos. Brazilian funk is inarguably the worst genre of music ever created. It just sounds like a cat is chasing a mouse running through like a music supply store. It's like he knocks over the guitar, he knocks over like the drums, the cymbals. What do you get, like the brass thing that goes when you hit it? Like a cat's chasing a mouse, and it's just like knocking down. It's just like random annoying sounds. Here, I'll try to find some Brazilian funk song. I'll insert that right now. So as you saw, that was just like irritating noise. But these mumble rappers, these Brazilian funk artists, have insane status, higher status than we will ever have. And the amount of gorgeous groupies that these people have lining up, competing with them, that would wait out in the cold for hours on end for them to finish fucking their current groupies and get a new batch of groupies in to go backstage with them, it would make your asshole bleed. You would be so upset that like these guys, again, and they're gaining, status for all the wrong reasons. Now, because women get to use the superpower of their appearance and wear their value and men can't, this has also created this economy where men must compete and try to gain status and money. It's like funny when they talk about the pay gap. The reason we have a pay gap, you fucking morons, is because for one gender, your money means fuck all for your chances at romance, sex, human chemistry, connection, all that. And for the other gender, it's completely like correlatively tied to your net worth. So men have to acquire money to get romance and sex, and women don't have to. Like, so duh, of course the men are going to make more because we quite frankly have to. Okay. So this has led to this economy where women don't even have to try anymore. They've done Tinder experiments. My buddy Alex, playing with fire, did a Tinder experiment where he catfished as like a legit 1 out of 10 and had, rich, good looking guys all up in her DMs. And look, even a woman who's a 4 out of 10 is going to have all these simps in her inboxes. She's going to match with 80 to 90% of the guys she swipes right with on it. I'm talking like a hard like 4.5 is going to get, virtually most guys she swipes right on a dating app. She's going to match with. And most of these guys would, probably like half of the guys would just want to fuck her, pump and dump her. And the other half would probably consider making her long-term relationship material. It's really, guys are like literally down that bad. So women don't have any motivation to do the minimal 3 that I talked about, which is don't overeat, don't be a land whale, do a lot of lower body squats and hamstrings, whatever, glute exercise in the gym, and don't be annoying. Women can't even find the time to do that. Lastly, and I talked about this a lot before, so I'll make it brief. We have this insane pay for play problem, this insane thing where any woman that's a true 7.5 to an 8 and above, if she's a 9 or 10, forget about it. But even the girls that are, 7.5s and 8s a lot of the times is, again, and most guys just, you're not around these women enough. I feel bad that, like guys don't even encounter these women. You don't even like really see them about. You wouldn't just like, for the most part, even just see them in like day-to-day activity. They're pretty hidden. They hide themselves pretty well. Like I said, there's just not that many of them because women don't even try. And the issue why we have this pay for play thing is like, well, let me go back here. I can look at, let's just say, a hunk of a man, like I don't know, a Justin Waller or a Tristan Tate, like not those guys specifically, but a guy who like looks like them. And I can't really make that many assumptions about this guy. Okay, maybe I can assume that he has a bit higher testosterone than normal. Maybe he's a bit, less patient. He has a bit more of like, asshole dominant tendencies. But I maybe not. Maybe he's a really humble, sweet guy. Maybe he's even got kind of like goofy or something like that. It's hard for me to make a lot of assumptions about this guy. But you show me a beautiful woman. Again, we're talking not about, they're going to be like 8s and above. I know her whole life story. On her whole life story, she suffers from a terrible case of beautiful woman syndrome. Every lame joke she makes, oh no, you're so funny, stop. It hurts, you're so funny. Every comment that she makes, oh, you're so intelligent. Sarah, you're really, really insightful, Sarah. And you're so smart. Yet her confidence is through the roof. She never receives any negative feedback from society. The little bit of negative feedback she received would be from other women. And she'd chalk it up as like, oh, they're just haters because I'm prettier than her. And she's probably right. She gets offered free shit everywhere she goes. She doesn't have to pay for anything. If she wants a trip in, the south of France for summertime, lo and behold, like magic, the men will emanate and offer her the trip. And then the last thing, like I was saying earlier, is the pay for play. This woman does not work. She's never done an honest day's work in her life. Are there exceptions? Sure. 5%, maybe 10% of the beautiful women, at the most earn everything, never accepted $1 from a man. Again, we're not talking about the 6s. We're not talking about, well, the girl that I dated, but again, everyone in my comments only dates, 9s and 10s, and everyone, whatever. All the girls I date are ugly to everyone who comments on my YouTube videos. We already know this, but the issue is that women fought for their independence. A small group of women in San Francisco spoke up for all women in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and made this huge feminism like, we don't want to be dependent on a man. We want to be independent. We want to work. We want to be in the office. But what they quickly realize is the sad truth is that you're basically a corporate slave. You get 2 weeks of vacation. Other than that, you're a slave to this job. You have to commute, fight traffic. You basically, if you work a 9 to 5, you make just enough money to keep your head above water and not drown. You can wake up, go to work, go to the gym, meal prep your lunch for the next day so you can save some money. And you maybe get to do a little bit on the weekends where you probably just, you're so underslept and stressed that you probably just want to relax and veg out. Plus, you got errands. You got to catch up on laundry. You got to clean the house. You got to go to the post office and pick up that missed package that never arrived, wait in line at the post. So your weekends aren't even yours. And they're quickly realizing that the only real way to have a decent life is through some entrepreneurial venture. Yet because women are not, most men, most people in general, but especially women, are not cut out to be entrepreneurs. They're not aggressive and competitive and dominant enough, they don't have the testosterone, or the problem solving capabilities inside it, because they never had to develop the problem solving capabilities because they can just coast and relax on their looks. Is that, entrepreneurship is the only way. They're not cut out to be entrepreneurs, and working a 9 to 5 absolutely sucks. So why not just let some guy sponsor your life? So they go to sugar sites. They do outright prostitution. I count OnlyFans and webcam modeling and seeking arrangement. I put all under that in a category of, pay for play, sex work and stuff like that, because why would they suffer and work really hard and live a terrible, meager 9 to 5 wage slave existence when they have an army of simps? And I bet all simps just, if they act right, if they act feminine and cooperative, dude, I'll take care of some girl. If you look, any females watching this, if you're an 8 above, thick, brown, big booty, Latina, feminine, submissive, smart, interesting, loyal, conservative social media, hit me up. I will also pay for and sponsor your life. Not right away. You got to earn it after, a couple months of dating, right? So dating is really, really bad. These are the main reasons why. And if you want dating to suck a little bit less, go to my Instagram, which is RedbeardRants1, and message me the word school. That is a platform where we have a free community. It's SKOOL. I have a shitload of free courses and resources to make dating suck a lot less in these difficult times. Check that out. Otherwise, please subscribe right now to this channel. It really helps boost these videos in the algorithm, reach more people. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed my rant. Peace out.